Nelson Mandela, Lessons in Discipline, Power, and Presence. 27 years. Think about that number. 27 years in a cell. No freedom. No control. No guarantee you'll ever walk out alive. Most men would break in 27 days. Most would lose themselves. Lose their purpose. Lose their mind. Nelson Mandela walked out stronger than when he walked in. Not angrier. Not bitter. Stronger. This is not a story about suffering. This is a story about what a human being can become when they refuse to let circumstances control who they are. When they choose discipline over emotion, purpose over comfort, vision over revenge. Today, you'll learn how one man transformed himself into a force of nature, and how his lessons can transform you. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was born in 1918 in a small village in South Africa. His father was a tribal chief, but Mandela's childhood was not one of privilege. He herded cattle. He learned the traditions of his people. He understood hierarchy, responsibility, and respect from an early age. As a young man, Mandela moved to Johannesburg. He studied law. He saw the injustice of apartheid, a system that classified people by race and denied basic human rights to the majority. He could have stayed quiet, built a comfortable career, kept his head down. He didn't. In 1944, he joined the African National Congress. He organized protests. He fought for equality, for dignity, for change. The government called him a terrorist. In 1962, he was arrested. In 1964, he was sentenced to life in prison. For the next 27 years, Mandela lived in a cell. He broke rocks in a quarry. He was given minimal food. He was isolated from his family. The world outside continued without him. Many assumed he would die there. But in that cell, something extraordinary happened. Mandela did not become a victim. He became a student. He studied his oppressors. He read their history, their language, their poetry. He exercised every morning. He maintained discipline. He refused to let his spirit deteriorate. In 1990, the world changed. Mandela was released. For years later, he became South Africa's first black president. He did not seek revenge. He sought reconciliation. He built a nation from the ruins of hatred. He died in 2013, leaving behind a legacy not of bitterness, but of strength. Not of anger, but of wisdom. Now, let's examine what made this man different. Let's extract the lessons that can change your life. Lesson 1. Discipline is your foundation. Mandela woke up at 5 in the morning. Every morning. In prison. No alarm clock. No motivation. Just discipline. He exercised in his cell. Push-ups. Running in place. Stretches. Not because it felt good. Because it was necessary. Understand this. Discipline is not about feeling motivated. Discipline is what you do when motivation is gone. When everything is stripped away. When no one is watching. In your life, you face no prison cell. Yet how many mornings do you hit snooze? How many days do you skip the work you know you should do? How many times do you choose comfort over growth? Mandela had every excuse to give up. You have none. Start here. Pick one thing. Wake up at the same time every day. Exercise for 20 minutes. Read for 30. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you do it regardless of how you feel. Discipline builds trust with yourself. Every time you do what you said you'd do, you become stronger. Every time you break that promise, you become weaker. Pause. Reflect on this. Your life will not change because of a great idea. It will change because of daily discipline applied over years. Lesson 2. Control your emotions or they will control you. Mandela spent nearly 3 decades in prison for fighting injustice. He had every reason to be angry, every reason to hate, every reason to seek revenge. When he was released, reporters asked him about his anger. He said he left it behind in prison. He said if he brought hatred with him, he would still be in prison. Read that again. If he brought hatred with him, he would still be in prison. Your anger is your prison. Your resentment is your prison. Your need for revenge is your prison. You might not be behind bars, but if you wake up consumed by what someone did to you, by what you lost, by what isn't fair, you are not free. Emotional control is not about suppressing feelings. It's about not letting those feelings make your decisions. It's about observing your anger, acknowledging it, and choosing not to act from that place. Here's how you practice this. When someone disrespects you, pause. Feel the heat rising. Notice it. Don't react immediately. Take 3 deep breaths. Ask yourself, will my reaction move me forward or keep me stuck? Most of the time, your ego wants to react. Your wisdom wants to move forward. Mandela chose wisdom. Every single time. This is power. Real power. Not the power to hurt others. The power to control yourself. Lesson 3. Know your enemy. In prison, Mandela did something unexpected. He studied Afrikaans, the language of his oppressors. He read their poetry. He learned their history. He understood their fears. Why? Because you cannot defeat what you do not understand. Most people avoid learning about those they disagree with. They surround themselves with people who think like them. They create echo chambers. They become weak. Mandela became strong because he understood both sides. He knew what motivated the people who imprisoned him, and that knowledge gave him power. In your life, this applies everywhere. In business, study your competition. In relationships, understand your partner's perspective. In conflict, learn what the other person truly wants. Ignorance is not strength. Understanding is strength. When you understand someone, you can predict them. You can negotiate with them. You can find common ground or outmaneuver them entirely. Do not fear opposing viewpoints. Study them. Dissect them. Understand them. This is how you gain an advantage that others don't even know exists. Lesson 4. Patience is a weapon. 27 years. Let that sink in again. Mandela didn't know when he would be released. He had no guarantee, no timeline, no promise. Most people can't wait 27 days for results. They start a business and quit after 3 months. They go to the gym for 2 weeks and expect a new body. They read 1 book and wonder why they're not smarter. Real change takes time. Real strength takes time. Real mastery takes time. Mandela understood something crucial. The long game always wins. While others react, the patient man plans. While others panic, the patient man observes. While others quit, the patient man continues. You want success? Understand that it will take longer than you think. You want a great relationship? Understand that trust is built over years, not weeks. You want to master a skill? Understand that 10,000 hours is not a metaphor. Here's the truth. Your impatience is not ambition. It's insecurity. You want the result now because you're afraid you won't stick with the process. Mandela had no such fear. He trusted the process. He trusted time. You must do the same. Pause. Reflect on this. Patience is not passive. Patience is active endurance. It's showing up every day even when you see no progress. That is strength. Lesson 5. Your response defines you, not your circumstances. Mandela could not control his arrest. He could not control his sentence. He could not control the years stolen from him. But he controlled how he responded. This is the only true power any of us have. We do not control what happens to us. We control how we respond. You lose your job. You can become bitter or you can become better. You go through a breakup. You can fall apart or you can rebuild. You face failure. You can quit or you can learn. Every single moment is a choice. Not a choice about what happens. A choice about who you will be in the face of what happens. Mandela chose to become disciplined, to become educated, to become strategic. The prison didn't make him. His response to prison made him. You are not defined by your trauma. You are not defined by your failures. You are not defined by what was done to you. You are defined by what you do next. Most people give their power away. They blame circumstances. They blame other people. They make excuses. Strong people take responsibility, even when it's not fair, even when it's not right. They take responsibility because that's the only way to take control. Right now, in your life, there is something you're blaming on circumstances. Stop. Take it back. Own it. Respond to it. That's where your power returns. Lesson 6. Forgiveness is not weakness. When Mandela became president, he invited his former prison guard to his inauguration. He sat down with the people who oppressed him. He worked with them to build a new country. People called it weakness. They said he should have punished them. He should have made them pay. But Mandela understood something most people never learn. Forgiveness is not for them. It's for you. Holding on to hatred is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It destroys you from the inside. It keeps you chained to the past. Forgiveness breaks that chain. This does not mean you forget. This does not mean you allow people to hurt you again. It means you release the grip that pain has on your mind. Think about someone who wronged you. Feel that weight. That's the weight you carry every day. Not them. You, Mandela chose freedom over revenge. And in doing so, he became the most powerful man in his country. You don't need to reconcile with everyone who hurts you. But you do need to release the hate. You need to stop letting them live rent-free in your head. This is not easy. This is not soft. This is one of the hardest things you will ever do. But it is necessary. Pause. Reflect on this. Strength is not holding a grudge for 20 years. Strength is letting it go and moving forward. Lesson 7. Build yourself when no one is watching. In prison, no one cared if Mandela exercised. No one cared if he studied. No one was grading him. No one was applauding. He did it anyway. This is the difference between people who succeed and people who don't. Successful people build themselves in private. They work when no one sees. They improve when there's no reward. You want to know why you're not where you want to be? Because you only work when someone's watching. You only try when there's immediate feedback. You need validation to keep going. Mandela needed nothing. He built himself because that's who he was. In your life, this means working on your skills when no one asks you to. Reading when no one will know. Practicing when there's no audience. Improving yourself because you respect yourself, not because you need approval. Most people are performing. They post their workouts. They broadcast their progress. They need the likes, the comments, the validation. Do the work in silence. Let your results speak. When Mandela walked out of prison, the world saw a giant. They didn't see the 27 years of private discipline. They just saw the result. Your private work will become your public success. But only if you're willing to do it when no one cares. Lesson 8. Clarity of purpose sustains you. Mandela knew why he was in prison. He knew what he stood for. He knew his purpose. That clarity kept him alive. When you don't know why you're doing something, you quit at the first obstacle. When you know exactly why, No obstacle is too great. Most people drift through life. They take jobs they don't care about. They enter relationships for the wrong reasons. They pursue goals because someone else told them to. Then they wonder why they have no motivation, why they feel empty. You need clarity. What do you stand for? What are you building? What would you endure pain for? If you can't answer that, you're lost. Mandela could answer it. Freedom, equality, dignity. Those weren't just words. They were the foundation of his entire existence. Find your foundation. Write it down. Look at it every day. When things get hard, when you want to quit, return to it. Your purpose is not your job. Your purpose is deeper. It's the reason you get out of bed. The reason you push through discomfort. The reason you refuse to settle. Discover it. Define it. Live it. Without purpose, you are a leaf in the wind. With purpose, you are unmovable. Lesson 9. Respect is earned through consistency. Mandela didn't demand respect. He earned it. Day after day. Year after year. Through his actions. Respect is not given because of your title. It's not given because you're loud. It's earned through consistency. Do you do what you say you'll do? Do you show up when it's hard? Do you maintain your principles when it's inconvenient? That's how you earn respect. In relationships, this means keeping your word. If you say you'll call, you call. If you make a promise, you keep it. Your partner learns they can trust you not because you said so, but because you proved it. In your career, this means delivering quality work every single time. Not just when your boss is watching. Every time. In your personal life, this means being the same person in private that you are in public. No masks. No games. Mandela was the same man in prison that he was as president. Consistent. Principled. Disciplined. People respected him because they knew exactly who he was. You want respect? Stop talking about who you are. Start being who you say you are. Every day. Without exception. Consistency is the foundation of trust. Trust is the foundation of respect. Lesson 10. Sacrifice is the price of greatness. Mandela missed his children's childhoods. He missed family gatherings. He missed weddings, birthdays, funerals. He gave up nearly 3 decades of his life. Greatness requires sacrifice. Always. You cannot have everything. You cannot build an empire and spend every night relaxing. You cannot achieve mastery and avoid discomfort. You cannot transform your life and stay exactly the same. Something has to give. The question is, what are you willing to sacrifice? Most people want results without sacrifice. They want the body without the discipline, the business without the risk, the relationship without the effort. It doesn't work that way. Mandela chose his purpose over his comfort, over his freedom, over his family time. You don't have to make that extreme choice, but you do have to make a choice. What will you give up to become who you want to be? Will you give up scrolling for hours? Will you give up late nights and wasted weekends? Will you give up toxic relationships that drain you? Every successful person has a story of sacrifice. The things they didn't do so they could focus on what mattered. Pause. Reflect on this. You say you want to change. Prove it. Sacrifice something. Give up the habits that keep you small. That's the price. Pay it. Lesson 11. Lead by example, not by force. Mandela never forced people to follow him. He inspired them. He showed them what was possible through his own actions. Leadership is not about control. It's about influence. You influence people by being the example, by living the principles you preach, by showing others what's possible. In your family, don't lecture your kids about discipline. Show them. Wake up early, Work hard. Keep your promises. They'll learn more from watching you than from anything you say. In your workplace, don't demand excellence. Demonstrate it. Set the standard. Others will rise to meet it, or they'll reveal they don't belong. In your relationships, don't tell your partner how to be. Be the person you want them to be. Show love. Show respect. Show consistency. Mandela didn't give speeches about forgiveness and then hold grudges. He forgave. Publicly. Repeatedly. People followed him because he lived his values. You want to lead? Stop talking. Start doing. Your actions are your loudest message. Lesson 12. Never stop learning. Mandela was in his 40s when he entered prison. He could have given up on growth. He could have accepted that his life was over. Instead, he studied. He read. He learned new languages. He earned a law degree through correspondence. He treated prison like a university. Your growth never stops unless you stop it. Age is not an excuse. Circumstances are not an excuse. Every day is an opportunity to learn something new, to become sharper, to expand your understanding. Read books. Listen to people smarter than you. Challenge your assumptions. Explore new ideas. Most people stop learning after school. They think they know enough. They become stagnant. They wonder why life feels empty. Life rewards the curious, the ones who never settle, the ones who keep sharpening themselves. Mandela never stopped. At 75, he was still learning, still growing. What's your excuse? Commit to growth. 30 minutes a day. 1 book a month. 1 new skill a year. Small investments compound into wisdom. Nelson Mandela was not born great. He was born into a world that told him he was less than, that he didn't matter, that he had no power. He chose differently. He chose discipline when the world gave him chaos. He chose patience when everything demanded urgency. He chose forgiveness when hatred would have been easier. He chose growth when stagnation was expected. And through those choices, repeated over decades, he became one of the most powerful and respected men in history. You are not facing what Mandela faced. You have opportunities he never had, resources he couldn't imagine, freedom he fought for. So what's stopping you? The only prison you're in is the one you built in your mind. The excuses, the fears, the comfort. Break out. Wake up tomorrow and choose discipline. Choose patience. Choose growth. Not because it's easy, because it's necessary. Your life will not change because you watch this video. It will change because you apply these lessons. Every single day. Mandela showed us what a human being can become. Not through talent. Not through luck. Through relentless, disciplined, purposeful action. You have the same 24 hours. The same choice. The same potential. The question is, will you use it? Or will you continue making excuses while your life passes by? Mandela didn't wait for perfect conditions. He didn't wait for motivation. He didn't wait for permission. He acted. He endured. He built himself into something extraordinary. You can do the same. Not someday. Today. Start with one thing. One discipline. One sacrifice. One choice. And then tomorrow, do it again. And the next day. And the next. That's how you transform. Not through massive action once. Through small action repeated until it becomes who you are. Mandela spent 27 years becoming the man the world needed. You don't need 27 years. You just need to start. Right now. This moment. Choose power over comfort. Choose discipline over distraction. Choose purpose over pleasure. Become the person you know you can be. Mandela proved it's possible. Now it's your turn. Thank you for watching.